Tube, you ready?
Yep.
All right, there it is. Say hi, Tube.
What up, Tube?
What up, Tube?
All right, and finally, for the show, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros.
There it is.
I love it.
SHIT, ladies and gents.
SHIT, so happy it's Thursday.
Woo! And we could do that on Tuesday, but we save it specifically for Thursday.
Because Thursday's karaoke night.
Okay, so
Is it?
Well, it is for
me.
him.
Just you.
Eric's like,
Well,
I'm going
me.
with you.
Me and everybody at number 1 in Hillcrest.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
you know.
See?
There we go.
Boom.
Number
All right.
1 Fifth Avenue. Join us.
Yeah, we'll join him if
Join
you want
me.
to go. Hernan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host.
The insurance bro / karaoke bro, James Cias, with Pipeline Insurance. And man, we are so excited. I met this gentleman for the first time at an AAREA event, and man, immediately just magnetized to this guy, leading the charge out in East County with Keller Williams. Welcome to the show, Eric Tai. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me.
See, he gets all excited once the mic goes on, huh? Right before that, what you guys don't get to see is him frustrated yelling at the computer. But then once it works, but then when it works, his excitement level just goes through the roof.
Yeah, I get to see all the behind the scenes.
Yeah, you get to see the behind the scenes today. Grrr. All right, ladies and gents. Sweat marks. Oh, snap. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? All right, ladies and gents, 365 pairs of shoes is what we're shooting for. We're at 202, actually. We had a donation yesterday. 202 is where we're at. So if you got shoes to donate, new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up, 619-884-0045, or James at csfirst.com. He'll ride over in his Harley, which I burnt my leg on today like a genius.
I saw it go down.
It happened. So I got the ice pack going. So yeah, just there it is. But so yeah, he'll hop on his Harley, not get burned on his leg. Go pick up your shoes, and we'll appreciate each and every donation.
Because I wear jeans and boots.
Because he wears jeans and boots, and I was wearing shorts. Genius.
But also, if you have any charitable organizations, any community good that you're doing, you want us to promote it, please let us know. We will be happy to talk about whatever it is that you've got going on. Reach out to us. You can shoot me an email right up there, James at csfirst.com or Hernan at csfirst.com, and we'll be happy to promote whatever good things you're doing.
All right, time to talk to Eric. We've had so much fun with you already,
right?
I just can't wait for our audience to have some fun with you too. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Eric. What were you doing before you got into this real estate gig, or have you been doing it since birth?
Yeah, it was out of the womb. I was doing real estate. 100 deals a year.
New room for rent.
No, I actually stepped into this team leader position just about 2 months ago. Before that, I was a loan officer for 10 years. So I've been at companies like BlueFi Lending. When they first opened up in North County, I was actually the first loan officer there, my first loan officer gig in the call center. And then I did that for a few years, left the industry for a year, did consumer financing with Pacific Marine Credit Union, and then decided to hop back into mortgages. So I went back into mortgages for a little broker shop in UTC for a few months, didn't really work out, and then was recruited by iMortgage, who then became Loan Depot. So I was at Loan Depot for 3 years, and then I became the in-house lender for Keller Williams, East County, San Diego, East Foothills, where I'm at now. And I was there for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and then went over to JP Morgan Chase and did home financing over there. And then Joe, the broker owner at Keller Williams, reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, we're looking for a new team leader. You're a younger guy, techie. We really want you to come over and just promote us, promote the tech and all of that. And that's how it went down. So we talked about it. Went through a few different interviews because, Keller Williams' hiring process is definitely pretty strict. They look for a lot of things. And I found out a lot of things about myself that I didn't know before because they make you take this test and then they interview you. They have the board, interview you. So passed all of that and then stepped into the position. Over the last month and a half, I've been doing a lot of traveling, went to Austin a couple of times to learn about KW technology. And then also had a team lead experience out in Kentucky. So just soaking it all up. It's crazy how much information you can learn in such a short period of time.
Oh, yeah. And the traveling's got to be an added plus. How did you like Austin? Oh, yeah. I go there every quarter.
Austin at this time of year, not so much.
Well, it's hot, right? You got the humidity.
Not just hot, because I grew up in Sacramento, so I'm used to the hot weather, but Sacramento is more of a dry heat. Mm-hmm. You go to Austin, it's like your clothes stick to you, you're sweating out of all crevices, and you're just not feeling comfortable at all.
No, not at all. But people are so nice out there.
Oh yeah, Kentucky too.
I haven't been to Kentucky.
Amazing. Just imagine, when Del Mar Racetrack opens up, opening day, how everybody's dressed. Mm-hmm. That's how people dress there.
Just normal.
Yeah. The slacks and the button up to the top button, and they're just shining. Dude, I love their style.
Isn't it funny though? Like, we're all in the United States of America, but we have little cultures everywhere we go.
Crazy. It's crazy. Once you get out of California, you see a lot of things that you think is just represents all of the United States, but not at all. Like, you go to different places and people look so different, and they act so different.
Yeah, speak, present themselves completely different.
Absolutely. So when I was out in Kentucky, I mean, even just the people, the way that they talk to you, I was like, I thought people in San Diego were nice. Now I know a whole new level of nice. Mm-hmm. They're just super cordial. Everything's, excuse me, ma'am, how you doing, sir? And all of that. And it's a good feeling.
It's kind of weird how do you come home and not want to be that way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, but that's kind of cool that you get to go experience that, because you come home as a team lead, right? And you have this culture that you've been taught, that you've seen, that you've lived for a little while.
Yeah.
And you want to kind of bring that home. What was that like?
Yeah. I came home, I felt like a little different. I felt that I was a little bit nicer to people just because I kind of irradiated off of me, So, I came back somewhat of a new guy, a lot nicer to folks, but also I came back with just a ton of information that KW taught me. When I first stepped into the position, I just thought that, okay, I'm just going to be talking to agents about how Keller Williams is the best place to be. However, there's so much more to that. Keller Williams is not just a brokerage. It's a culture. Mm-hmm. It's a platform. And it's a place to grow your business. I see a lot of other companies kind of trying to do the same thing, but Gary Keller, the leader of Keller Williams, the owner, he really is throwing all this money into what he thinks is going to be the next shift in the market, and that's technology. Technology is going to take over, and it's not really technology that's going to change our industry. It's really technology savvy type of agents that's going to take over the industry. People that don't really care about what's being presented in the marketplace right now for tech, and people that don't really want to invest their time are going to fall behind. And I always tell agents this. I say, you don't want to be Blockbuster. You want to be Netflix.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be a taxi driver. You want to be Uber. You know what I mean? So Keller Williams is going to be the next Amazon.
And they're setting themselves up to do a lot of cool things. There's only a handful of brokerages that I think are going to survive this next couple of series. Mm-hmm. Keller being one of them, just because of the way. I think part of and a major part of what they do, aside from the technology, aside from their shift, is the culture. Absolutely. It's the way, when you talk to somebody who's wearing that red, who's empowered, who's basically part of that team, they treat it like family. Everybody that's in that Keller family, they call it a Keller family. They don't even call Absolutely. It like a brokerage. Yeah. And tell me a little bit about what it's like, in the office. How are agents as far as supporting each other? How's the training like over there?
So it's amazing. So it's funny that you say KW family, because every email that I blast out to the whole company, I always start off with hello KW fam. It's always KW fam, KW family, because we are family. And not just our brokerage, but all Keller Williams. So the platform at Keller Williams is really to learn, right? It's not just, I see a lot of other agents at a lot of other brokerages kind of just on their own. And a lot of them actually come to us and they say, I need guidance. I need leadership. I need to learn about how to make myself better, because how are you going to grow your business if you don't learn?
Yeah,
right?
If you're not growing as an individual.
Yeah, exactly. So what we really promote is classes, trainings, and they're all free. You look at our calendar every month, every single day is taken up by some sort of class or classes. So right now, for example, we have what's called Ignite. Ignite classes run from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and it's going to run until mid-September, end of September. And it's basically the nuts and bolts of everything real estate. And every class is taught by one of our top producers. And that's amazing, because we don't just restrict it to Keller Williams agents. We don't, have you sign a contract. We don't say, hey, in order to go to this class, you have to be a Keller Williams agent. We welcome everybody. And actually, there's some people that show up to classes that show up to every single class, but they haven't joined us for years because they see the benefit in it. And literally, we will teach you how to become successful. For example, my number one realtor, his name's Kimo Quantz, and he's really, really big in East County. He's one of the top agents in East County, is the number one at my brokerage. And he actually takes his time on a Friday, every Friday, to come in and teach a class at 7:30 a.m. And we usually have about 20 to 30 people in there. But for the top producer at a brokerage to spend his lead generating time to come in and teach an hour class on a Friday morning, that's unheard of. I mean, where do you get that?
The thing about that is I find the more and more people I interview, the more successful they become, the more giving they become.
Yeah.
Giving of their, of their time, not necessarily money. Although a lot of them do give away a lot of money. It just ends up happening, but mostly of their time, of their experience, because they feel like, if I would have had this when I was starting out, I could have been more successful.
Right.
If I can help them, then it'll come back to me in full. It's like, it's one of those things you learn as success comes into your life. It's like, the more I give, the more success is gonna come back. And it's not a transactional give and take.
Right.
It's just constantly be of service to other people, and it comes back to you.
And I have to say that it takes a very humble agent to share that information, because I also know a lot of agents that say, hey, you know what? No, I'd rather keep that to myself. If I share all my secrets, you're going to become my competition. But it takes a very humble agent that is very confident in themselves, in the business that they run, to be able to share that information, to be able to teach others how they do what they do.
Well, I mean, some of it is prospecting, but a lot of it is based on the relationships you've built. If I've built a great, strong relationship with a particular client, and I'm constantly in their life and being top of mind, I know they're not going to go anywhere else.
Right.
It's not a secret. The secret is in building the relationship long term and having those relationships. So I'm sure the reason he's so successful is because he has a huge COI that he's in constant communication with.
Yes.
And that he's always being of service to them, providing things for them. I bet you if you were to sit down and talk to him, his prospecting time is not really figuring out new business. It's, what can I do for my existing clientele?
Absolutely.
And so, of course, I can tell you all the secrets in the world, because A, I know you're probably not going to do them. And B, when it does come time to competition, if you try to prospect somebody that I have a relationship with, good luck.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, so, that's where I think the confidence comes from. It's like, I've worked this already. I've built this already.
Yep.
Let me show you how you can do the same.
Right. And you hit it right on the head. There's a lot of agents that want to learn how a successful agent does what they do, but they're not willing to put in the time or effort. It's simple. I mean, you look at somebody like Hemo, he has a strategy every day. He does the same things. There's lead generating time there, there's management, there's this, that, and the other thing. You look at his calendar, everything's color coded. He doesn't do anything that's out of color. So I've gone and met with him in his office, and I'm like, okay, so why is all this red? Oh, that's the most important thing. That's where I'm going to be at. And right when, the clock hits this, I'm off and I'm doing this thing. And a lot of agents don't do that. Time blocking is so important, and agents just don't get it.
No, it's tough.
How do you spell his name? I'm trying to tag him here.
Yeah, Kimo. Quantz is Quance. I think he's on his way to Tennessee right now to visit his brother. So he might not be able to hop on. But if he does,
I just want to tag him and just
shout out.
Give him a shout out. Yeah.
No, but I love that calendar time block thing. It's very difficult to block out your time, mainly I think because they got into the business not with a thought of blocking out time. They got into the business because they wanted to free up their time.
Yeah.
They just didn't understand that what it takes to free up your time is to actually choose what you're going to do with that time.
Right.
It's still freedom.
Yeah.
Like, you're choosing when you get up. You're choosing when you do your prospecting. You're choosing when you do these things, but you still got to do them.
Exactly.
If you don't do them, you're not going to be an agent very long.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of agents tend to do is they will time block. They'll put together a whole time blocking schedule, but once the clock hits this, they're like, I'll just push it back 5 or 10 minutes. Or, hey, I'm already 20 minutes past. I'll just do that tomorrow. I'll move it to tomorrow. And that's when the snowball effect, happens. And they never get to that one thing that they were supposed to do on a Monday. And now it's almost Friday night. And they're like, I'll just do it next Monday. But it just never gets done.
And, you know, it's very difficult, I think, for somebody to go right into completely coordinating your schedule and blocking out every single, you know, minute, whatever. Start off, in my opinion, is start off small. Like, what do you want to get done this week? What are the top 3 or 4 things you want to get done this week? Let's pencil those in. What's it going to take for you to get those done? And as you get better at meeting small goals like that, then you add another one.
Right.
Then you add another one. And then what do you need more help with? You know, we talked very early on in the podcast when James and I were talking about whiteboard and visual accountability, like looking up and seeing, you know, how many prospects do I have? How many leads do I have? How many do I have pending? How many do I have closed? And always looking up and be like, okay, well, look, you know, I'm supposed to have 15 leads on this board and I only have 7. So maybe I should focus my time right now on lead gen. Yeah. Or, you know, look at my pendings board. I got 5 pending. I should have 7 pending. Right. You know, what do I need to do to get something in escrow? Yeah. You know, like having a system in place so that you can easily go on any given day and be like, what do I need to focus on today? Yeah. If you don't have a schedule, have something that you're looking at to focus your attention on.
Exactly. I agree. And Keller Williams teaches all of that. Time management, pipeline management, lead generating. We literally have a class on every single topic. And all you got to do is just come to them. Yeah. Take proper notes and put it into play.
And you guys are practicing exactly what we just talked about. Anybody can show up.
Yeah.
So you're providing the value up front. This is what the Keller culture is. Let me give you the value that you want, that you need. Let me help you become a success. By the way, if you're ever interested, doors open.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was talking to an agent that straight up told me, hey, because I told him, hey, you know, you're a low producing agent. I'll be completely honest with you. I see a lot of room for improvement. I see you on social media and things of that nature. So you're doing some things right, but you're just not doing certain other things. And I said, come to Ignite. I'll even sponsor you because, I mean, it literally is like, I think, $40 or $50 because we print off a bunch of material and you're literally paying for the paper and the ink. Right? The class is free. So I said, I'll even sponsor you. I'll pay the cost for you to be there and just learn. And he said, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, I have no intention of leaving my brokerage. And I said, that's completely fine because I'm not trying to recruit you. I want you to learn and get better because eventually once you start coming to these classes and you see the benefit, you're going to come over anyway. You know, you're going to be calling me. And that's why I do all the social media stuff. I don't necessarily recruit individuals one-on-one. I want to put enough content out there where you say, who is this Eric guy? What is Keller Williams East County really about? And then you're going to call me and we start the conversation that way.
Well, it becomes different. Like the word that even EXP uses is not recruiting anymore. It's attracting.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's what you're doing. You're putting out value. You're showing people that this is what we have to offer. These are the benefits of our brokerage. Taste it. Try it. Give it a shot. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, you know, maybe you're better for it.
Exactly. Same reason why you walk through Costco and they give you samples, right? They don't just straight up say, hey, buy this. I want you to buy this. They say, hey, try it real quick. And by the way, if you like it, it's right there.
Yeah, exactly. You know it gets me. It gets me too. I did that just the other day. Bought a can of roasted nuts. I was like, ooh, these are good. I'm taking a can.
Oh, that's how they got you.
That's how they got me. I had to try them first. Nice. But no, well, tell me a little bit about getting out in the community. You're part of a bunch of other stuff aside from Keller Williams.
Yeah. You know, the biggest thing for me aside from Keller Williams is AAREA. AAREA, you know, it's funny, you guys had Lizzie Lee on just a few weeks ago. Her and I actually met through her friend who was my previous client. They actually have kids that go to the same school together. My name was brought up, and then my potential client said, hey, you should reach out to Lizzie. Maybe you guys can connect. And I said, yeah, no problem. So I did, and then we actually became good friends. So I was over at her house one day, and she was talking about AAREA. And I had been a member of AAREA for like a couple of years. I never really did anything with it. I just felt like I was cool. I was like, hey, I'm part of this organization. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I didn't really do too much. I didn't really go to too many events. So when she said, oh, AAREA this, AAREA that, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm actually a member of that. Tell me more about it. And then she was like, hey, if you're interested, start coming to the board meetings. So we cleared it with the president, Hazel, and I started going to the board meetings, and I just fell in love, man. You know, I feel like they represent all the right things, and they do a lot of things in the community that it's kind of hard for you to go out and do yourself. But when you're a part of this big group, like for example, just a few months ago, we repainted the inside of a church. all the walls, the bathrooms, all of that for free. We got, a bunch of donations and a bunch of materials donated, but we went in there and just got the whole inside of the church painted. So now, when the homeless walk in for a free meal, it's a much more cozy, nice looking environment. So that kind of stuff makes me feel really good. So I started going to the board meetings for a few months, and then I guess they liked me. And they said, if you're interested, apply for the board. And we'll even, you can apply for the 2019 board because there's a couple of spots to fill. So I actually became a board member this year, and then I'm applying for the board next year as well.
What's been your experience like going from not doing anything with AAREA, just kind of being a member, and now being part of the board? Like, what would you tell somebody who's never been part of any association, and why AAREA?
When you're in real estate, you really want to be in those types of organizations because it's number one, it's a lot of exposure. And number two, you meet a lot of like-minded people. And when I first went there, I was like, man, I'm just going to see all these lenders because, I was a loan officer. I'm going to see all these lenders. It's not worth my time because how am I going to, work with these agents when they're already, been working with these lenders for a long time? And I tried to talk myself out of it. But once you start going to these events, it's really not about competition. It's just about networking, getting to know everybody in the business, because the people that are not doing business are not going to those events. Mm-hmm. They're all producers, right? So you just meet a bunch of like-minded people and you have a lot of fun with them. And then eventually, the lenders that you thought was competition or the agents that you thought were competition become your friends, and you actually start going out with them. And it's just a really fun environment. You get together, you start talking about deals and what did you have happen this week and what did I have happen, and you kind of just mastermind. I've met some really, really cool people through AAREA that I can seriously call some of my closest friends now.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. I mean, we always talk about that hashtag powerful relationships, making sure that, and it comes down to the same thing. You guys are all trying to do the same type of business, handle stuff for the same type of client. Mm-hmm. It just works better when you have that relationship, when you have that network. Yeah. Like you need an agent. Let me hook you up. I know exactly who you should be working with.
Exactly.
And it's not so much that you're picking an agent because they're a top producer in your team or whatever. It's just, their personality type, and this client's personality type. Mm-hmm. And you think this is going to be a good match. This is going to work. Yeah. It's client dating almost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's something that you wouldn't have known that had you not connected with these people.
Right.
Dude, that's some cool stuff. What does AAREA got coming up in the near future?
AAREA actually has a women's event, women's council event. And you put me on the spot, man.
I know.
I think it's October. No, it could be September.
To be fair, I saw that on the Instagram too. Yeah. So so I got this thing going around. I'm helping this kid build a little bit of a business doing profile rings, right? So on Instagram, it's just to make your profile ring stand out a little more when you have a story. And so I created a little video for it, and in my video, it just so happened that the AAREA poster for the posting is just part of that video. So I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. If you go to my personal page, it's actually the first thing. I think it's September 18th, now that I'm thinking about it. James, would you be able to see that?
Looking for it on your page?
Yeah, on my personal page. It should be I think it's the first thing on there.
Yep, I'll find it.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about the event. He'll tell us the date in a little bit.
It's just a bunch of strong women that are coming together to talk about their business. Kind of like empowering women. This is not just a men's, type of industry. Women are killing it out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have some really, really big producers.
There's some top producers that don't look down on the dude. The women crush it. We're living right now in this huge push on the female side because they've been crushing it for a while, but now we're getting to see how they're doing it, right? Oh, yeah. Now they're in the forefront, on the visual forefront. Yeah. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, we're kind of suckers for the Marvel thing, but that whole scene in the Marvel universe at the end, right? And all the women attacking, making sure it's just very empowering. I see my daughter get all this energy. My wife gets pumped up when that comes up, and it's really cool to see women getting together and saying, "Look, we can do it too." And matter of fact, we probably do it better.
I actually agree with that.
Right?
So some of the best producers that I've met are women. Obviously there's men crushing it too, but I think now there's more women crushing it than men. I just think that they bring a different type of energy into the industry.
Absolutely.
Especially with AAREA, there's, I would say the majority of the board are women, and they're killing it.
And that is September 18th from 10:30 to 2 p.m. at the Fairbanks Country Club.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys make it out.
Tickets available at AAREA That's area with 2 A's.
That would be AAREA, bro.
That's what I said. AAREA. Yeah. Obviously, I'm listening.
And we have a hashtag, AAREA with me.
Oh, nice little play on words there. Yeah. So tell me, what do you got planned here in the future? You've been at KW for 2 months as the head of that office. Like, where do you see it going? You've done all the training,
the training. I've done
a lot of the training. A
lot more training coming up. I'm very much looking forward to this thing called Family Reunion. They have it once a year in February. It's in a different place every year, but this year is going to be in Houston. And it's basically 20,000 Keller Williams agents that gets together, and it's just all classes. You can go to different classes to learn about different things. You choose your own classes. It's kind of like college, where you just choose your own schedule, and then you go to different classes and just learn from all the producers.
How long is it?
I believe it is 1 full week. Yeah,
dude, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, but a lot of it is partying too, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, you can't get 20,000 realtors together and not party. Come on now.
I've heard some crazy stories, and that's part of the reason why I'm looking forward to it.
I need to be in some of these stories.
Yeah.
Or at least an observer of some.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make sure I go live a few times.
Yeah. What's up? Business bros.
But yeah, what do I see coming up in the future? I'm going to push out a lot of content. I'm really, really proud of how good of a job everybody did on Monday when I brought in a videographer and basically showcased the office. I really wanted to showcase just what goes down at the office on a day-to-day basis. And I'll be honest, I directed almost every scene of that. So wow. I was really proud. I told the cameraman, I said, this is exactly what I'm thinking. The scene should, go down. And I want you to say this. I want you to shake his hand this way. And it turned out perfect.
Exactly how you envisioned it?
Exactly how I envisioned it. And, so I posted that Tuesday morning at 10:45. We already hit 2,000 views organically.
Nice.
Hit 2,000 views. So my goal, I also boosted it on my business page, and I'm hoping to get to about 10,000 by next week.
Nice.
So I just really want to put us on the map in East County. I feel like, Keller Williams is such a huge company, and especially in El Cajon, we are the #1 brokerage in El Cajon. However, we don't have too much social media presence, and it's my job to get us on there, to get exposure, and basically put our name out there and let everybody know that we're here.
What type of stuff you thinking of doing as far as content? You thinking of interview based? You thinking of community involvement? You thinking of all of events?
All of it. So this is just one of many, right? So the first one I really wanted to just showcase the office. The second one is more along the lines of I'm going to pick maybe 5 to 6 top producers in my company, including Chemo, and I'm going to say, hey, look, why Keller Williams? You could be everywhere else, but why have you been here for so long? What keeps you here? What keeps you motivated? What about Keller Williams is the aha for you? And I'm just going to give them 15 seconds. I'm going to give them the homework of writing out their own script, why Keller Williams, and then I'm going to put them all in front of the camera, and I'm going to give them 15 seconds to shine. So if I, do 5 to 6 of the top producers interviews, it's going to be about a minute and a half video. And I think that number one, it's going to get them some exposure. And number two, it really tells the other agents out there at other brokerages why we do what we do and how we do what we do.
All short form then.
Yeah.
Are you do any long form stuff?
Long form stuff, maybe in the future, but I really just want to focus on our office right now. I might do a testimonial sometime soon. I just don't want to dive into individual agents because I feel like it's unfair to all the other agents. If I say, hey, this month I'm going to pick you, and there's over 300 agents at our brokerage, you know what I mean? So I really want to just include everybody. I might do a have you considered a career in real estate type of video?
Okay.
But that's going to be within the next 30 days. But the next 30 days, no idea. I'm going to start brainstorming.
Nice. All right. What's the intent What's the overall intent? Like, is it recruitment? Is it
ultimately that's my job, right? But really, I have put recruiting as my number one responsibility, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing on a day-to-day basis. However, again, recruitment is one thing, attraction is another, right? Mm-hmm. Without being attractive, recruitment is not going to work. Yeah, I mean, you can recruit all day. Yeah, but if people don't know who you are, why do they want to come here?
Yeah.
And that's my goal, is to answer that question. Why do you want to come here? Because we're Keller Williams, and this is why. So that's going to be the content.
That's awesome, man.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the way that our business works, and we have, a very similar model. We're always recruiting, always bringing on new agents, and that's a really good question to ask. Why do you want to be here?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be here? So
yeah, we had a business meeting yesterday, and it was very much focused on what's our vision and what are we trying to accomplish.
Right.
Because we've been in business for a while, but now we need to narrow down what we're doing, right? We've built it. We've got systems in place. Now what, right? What's the next step? Why do we want to come here?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to hear it from somebody else.
It's basically the same, the same
Great
track, the same mindset. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So what about for Eric himself? Are you still producing as far as mortgages are concerned? Or?
No, so I have put that on hold for now. So all my loan business I've passed on to a few different partners. I say, hey, take care of these agents for me. Any refinances that I get, here you go. And I'm not touching that. I just, number one, don't have time. And number two, my NMLS license is inactive, so I can't legally originate. But that's okay, because I really just want to dive in feet first in this position and grow Keller Williams. My goal by this time next year is 400 agents on our roster. So I want 100 agents in the next year. That's roughly about 10 to 15 agents a year. Given, some losses, you have agents that leave or whatnot. So I want to net 100 agents in the next year.
Dang, see, that's same type of conversation we had. That's so funny.
Yeah, great minds think alike, man.
They do. Well, no, it's just you're goal oriented. You're results driven, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So I got kind of a selfish kind of question. So on the insurance side, we're trying to build very much a similar model. I mean, you could tell by the recruitment side. But one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to target specific industries. So I was telling you before the show, we wanted to target, payroll companies and add workers' comp. Specifically with us and the podcast, we want to be targeting mortgage companies and brokerage offices. And our pitch is basically, it's simple. It's as your insurance partner, we want to be able to reach out to the clients that you bring to us and ask them questions on a regular basis. They need to renew their policies every 6 months, every year or so. We talk to them on a quarterly basis. We talk to them quite often, and we're going to ask them questions like, hey, did you buy a new car? Or you still have your homeowner's policy. Are you thinking of selling? Are you thinking of refinancing? What do you, just to get in line ahead of what's going to happen. And as referral partners, we'll be like, okay, well, when they get in a position where they've acquired new debt, we can reach back to our original loan person, whoever it's going to be, and say, hey, this person has just acquired new debt. Might be a good time to refi.
Yeah.
Hey, this person's thinking about refinancing. That's one of the questions we ask. This is a perfect time. You should be calling them back up. And so it's kind of a mutual thing. It's mutually beneficial when you have partners. So what do you think of partnering with a company that would work something like that? I don't know how you guys do insurance now. I know most brokerages, most mortgage people are just like, I just hand it to whoever.
Yeah.
But there's no reciprocation. We want to start building something where it works both ways. It's mutually beneficial.
Yeah. Well, when I was a loan officer, I had a couple of go-to insurance people. One person could do a lot more than the other, but he was a little bit more pricier. So it was just kind of depending on the situation. But yeah, I had just my couple of go-tos. I was never the loan officer that's like, hey, just, go with whoever, or hey, here's whoever. You know what I mean? If I'm going to hand you off to somebody, I better trust them with my own policy. So that's kind of how I've run my business since day one, is that I would never give you a road to take if I'm not willing to take it myself.
Right.
So to answer your question, I mean, right now with Keller Williams specifically, we have different insurance agencies coming in, but we do have a partnership that we're looking to establish right now. This guy has just done so much for our agents. He really deserves it. So what we're trying to do is establish that. But as of right now, we don't have a contract in place yet. So eventually we will. Yeah.
That's cool.
But that is also reciprocal. It's going to be ingrained. It's going to be a part of Keller Williams. It's just going to be a wing of Keller Williams.
And that's exactly what we want to be positioning ourselves as the insurance company. We want to be like, you need a department.
Yeah.
This is your in-house department.
What I would recommend is going to these brokerages straight up and just say, hey, look, how are you guys handling your insurance right now? Who's your go-to? Because usually with brokerages, they're going to have a plethora of insurance agents that are coming in who comes in at what time, nobody knows. But all I know is I see you about once every couple of weeks. You don't really want that, because when you have a bunch of agents that have so many options, they don't know where to go. Mm-hmm. You want to just say, hey, this is your option. If you don't go with this option, you have your own option. That's fine. But if you don't go with this option, then chances are, if something arises, if there's issues or hurdles in the process, nobody's going to be there to save the day. And I'll give you a perfect example. We have our in-house mortgage services, and we also have our in-house escrow services. Our in-house escrow services is actually a Keller Williams wing. We are the owner of that escrow company. So I have two agents. The listing agent decided on an escrow company that wasn't us, and he thought that it would be a good idea to go with this escrow company. Also referred to another lender. And there were some things that happened, obviously, I guess Loan Depot, who's our in-house, took a look at it, but couldn't do it or something like that. But they dropped the ball, the lender dropped the ball, and the escrow dropped the ball as well.
In the 11th hour, I'm assuming.
At the oh man, I mean, way past the 11th hour. We're talking about like a week and a half past COE. Oh. Right. And everybody's just like, oh my God, what's going on? The seller's furious. All my stuff's in a moving van, that type of deal. And I just thought to myself, I said, if you had just went with our in-house services, I could step in and say, hey, I need this done now.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would have
priority one.
Yeah. I would have been able to pull some strings, and it probably would have closed that specific day. However, when you go outside, you have no control. Yeah. So that's why in-house services is just so important, because there are certain things that we can do as in-house where other people can't, or they don't care to do it because they don't really care about the relationship. It's very transactional.
Very much so, yeah.
But in your aspect, I would say if you're trying to grow your insurance business, to definitely hit up all these brokerages that don't have an in-house insurance service, and just say, hey, we're willing to go ahead and become a part of this company. And obviously there's contracts in place or whatnot, but that would be ideal, because you'd be the go-to. And especially the brokerages with 100, 200, 300 agents, mm-hmm. that could bring you a ton more business.
Right. And we were having a discussion yesterday at our business. I go, my favorite thing is to cut checks to people. Yeah. So, if I can come into your brokerage and be like, look, let me be your in-house. You don't have anybody? That's cool. I need you to get one person that's licensed so that I can pay them, because I want to cut you checks. Yep. Like, how can we make this happen so that it's mutually beneficial? Yeah. That's exactly. I love cutting checks. Exactly. It's my favorite thing to do. But aside from eating, sleeping, that sort of stuff, the necessities, cutting checks is really fun. All right, Eric, we're going to hit the Ask the Bros. So feel free to ask James or I or both any business or personal question you like.
Well, let's get personal, man. I'm pretty sure my viewers are also curious about this. I watch your podcasts all the time, and I'm a big fan. However, you guys just really interview other people, and there's really nothing covered about you guys. So tell me about yourselves and family. You were just talking about a daughter, so I know you have at mm-hmm. least one child. Mm-hmm. How many children do you have?
I have two kids.
Two kids.
I have Mila and Liam. Same letters, different order.
Okay.
Mila is 10, Liam's 9. And I've been married for 13 years. October will be 13 years.
Okay.
Been with her for 19 years.
High school sweethearts?
Right after high school.
Okay.
Met her right
College
after high school.
Sweethearts. All right.
Yeah, sort of. We were working at the same bank.
Okay, what bank?
Yeah, at Wells Fargo.
Okay, very nice. What did you do there?
I was a teller. Actually, we worked in the cash vault, so it wasn't even like a branch teller. It was like in this hole that all the armored trucks delivered money to on a regular basis.
But you had a lot of alone time with her.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In an enclosed box.
Didn't she work like right across?
Yeah, she worked like a couple desks over or whatever.
There you go.
So yeah.
Very good. What about you, dude?
I also married. Been married for 4 years. It'll be 5 next April. She and I met a year before we got married. Well, sort of. We actually met like years and years and years and years ago. She is his wife's cousin.
Oh,
and
nice.
So kind of stayed in the family there. But
no
yeah,
southern.
No. Damn, sorry to all our listeners in the South.
Right?
No. It was I left for the Navy for 8 years.
Oh, you're in the military.
I was in the Navy for 8 years, and when I came back, basically it was Mila's 5th birthday party, and I see this girl, and I'm like, "Hey, Nan, who's that?" And she's like, asking her sister, "Hey, who's that?" And yeah, we just kind of, oh, okay, and the rest is history.
Okay, very nice.
So no kids, a dog and 2 cats, and
think about having kids though?
No.
Nope. It's not your thing.
Nope. Mom, sorry. She's listening right now and watching, and she's like, "I'm waiting on you." Actually, what was it, Sunday when she was over? She was spoiling my dog. She's like, "This is the closest I'm going to get to grandkids with you." So
nieces are good enough, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
got 2 already.
I got
4.
a couple of cousins. 4?
No, I have 2 already.
Oh, you have
she's
2.
got 4.
Yeah.
Very nice. That reminds me of my cousin Prometheus.
Prometheus?
Is that really his name?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
I got a funny story for
Hell
you guys. So I got two older cousins. So Auntie Amanda, let's go way back. I was born in Hong Kong. And what brought me over here was because my Auntie Amanda, who's my dad's older sister, joined the U.S. Army. And then a few years later, she petitioned for everybody to come over. And so her 2 kids, her first 2 kids are my older cousins. Prometheus is older. Younger brother is Flaminius. I'm not kidding you, bro. So Pro and Flem, Prometheus and Flaminius. I grew up with them, and I'll get to my point in just a second. But funny story is that my Auntie Amanda remarried this guy Ed, and had a 3rd child. And just looking at the pattern, what do you think his name is?
I don't know, Prometheus?
Exactly, right?
What?
No.
His name is Alan.
Okay. Perfect
Alan.
fit, yeah.
So just imagine my Auntie Amanda introducing her kids, right?
Yeah.
These are my sons, Prometheus, Flaminius, and Alan.
And Alan.
Alan probably had the easiest growing up though. Like nobody said his name. Like you know exactly how to spell it.
Oh, dude.
Like there was no problems.
Oh yeah.
But he always gets Alan.
And Alan.
And it's funny because Pro tells me that one time he got pulled over, got a ticket, and then the next month he was speeding, and he was speeding in the same area, got pulled over again, and the cop was like, license, registration, and he was like, "Hey, I pulled you over last month, man."
I know him by name.
Come on, man.
There's only one Prometheus in this general area.
Right, exactly.
I know that cop went home too. He's telling his wife, I pulled over this guy. Guess what his name was?
It was a Greek god, man.
But he's Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. He's a tall, dark Chinese guy.
Oh my goodness.
But going back to the point was that Prometheus is the same way. Flaminius, Flem just actually had his 3rd kid, all boys. And Pro's like, I asked him the other day, he came to visit me in San Diego, and I said, "Hey, when are you going to have kids, man?" He was like, "Man, I just don't think I'm going to have kids. But I have enough with my nephews. I'm very much in my work, and I want to be successful and have a girlfriend, and that's just what I'm about. Nephews are good enough for me." So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, for what it's worth, with my younger brother passing recently, I made a promise to his kids. I'm going to really make an effort, commit to being there more for them. I was actually, going through the slideshow yesterday, and it got me all emotional. So I get home and I'm like, kind of in tears, a little bit, talking to the wife and telling her how, we got to be there for all the school stuff. We got to be there for all the, big birthdays, and I'm really,
He's trying to be the Funkle.
Yeah.
Trying to be the Funkle, and just we have 3 cousins on my dad's side who lost their dad when they were young, and my parents stepped in, and after this whole thing happened with my brother and the podcast that we aired, they listened to it, and I got messages from them saying, when your parents stepped in for us, it was life changing. It was. I mean, nothing is ever going to replace our dad, but having them there really, really meant a lot, and so I'm really definitely taking that on my own shoulders.
And that's big of you, man.
I mean,
they're good kids.
They are. They're great kids. They're great kids, and it's what we got
for sure
from him.
Sure.
So,
dude, nice, good.
I know, right? Can we move on a little bit here?
Is it for beers or what?
Shots.
I saw the tequila over there. I don't know.
All right, Eric, I'm gonna have you look at this camera right here and tell people how they can get a hold of you.
So again, my name is Eric Tai. My number is 619-882-9776. You can call me, text me, email me at Eric Tai, so just first and last name at kw.com.
Boom. Eric, it's been a pleasure.
Bro, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Seriously, it's been an honor.
It's been a while. Ever since we saw you at AAREA. That was a nice event, by the way.
It was.
Top of Symphony Towers.
Yep.
It was
Realtor Boot Camp.
Yep, that was cool. That was a good spot.
Yeah.
So, since then, we're like, we got to get you on the show.
Yeah.
But it finally happened.
And I saw your parody. Was it a couple of months ago? What is this? It's hilarious.
I'm due for another one. I just haven't had the time to put it together.
Please put one out. Please, I'll share it. I'll promote it. I'll boost it for you if you want to. That's hilarious.
Sounds good.
That's some good stuff.
Don't let his wife hear that.
Yeah. She's always like, oh my God, he did another one.
You're talking about that video again?
Yeah. They're fun though. I gotta admit, they are fun.
Oh man, it's fun to just watch, man. I felt the energy. I'm like, dude, I wish I was there.
It was a blast.
It is definitely a blast. All right, ladies and gents. 365 pairs of shoes is what we're shooting for. So if you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com, and he'll drive over there on his Harley, pick them up, and we thank you for all the donations we've had so far and all the donations that we're gonna have. We're gonna hit that 365, no problem. And then reminder. James is the insurance guy. So if you have any insurance policies, homeowner policies, realtors, it's the last minute, you need a little bit of help. In the show notes, there's a link that says need insurance. Click on it. We'll help you out and get that turned around as fast as possible. If you have any other questions, hit James up again, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Bye, thanks, Facebook.
Look at that, Eric.
Did y'all hear that?
All right.
Wow.